So I did my 14 months and I got out, and I got out with a new spirit. I got out with a new mind. I had a new paradigm, right? I told myself, I like being an entrepreneur, but I realized that selling drugs would put me back in jail. So I had to figure out, how can I make money without risking going back to jail? So one thing I didn't tell you guys is when I was 14 years old, I started a lawn care business. But when I went to college, obviously the business struggled, right? You can't be in Lancaster going to college and in New York cutting grass. And this is one thing that I want you guys to realize. Whenever something happens in your life, there's multiple choices that you can make. Right? Like when I lost my scholarship, I made the easy choice. Come back to New York and start selling drugs. But I could have transferred to a different school and got a different scholarship. I could have came back to New York and started working. I could have just went to school without a scholarship. But I chose the easy thing, right? So when I got out of jail, I was like, okay, no more taking the shortcuts, no more taking the easy route. So I started a lawn care business, and to date, we do $108,000 a year, but my goal is to be a millionaire, so I realized very quickly 100 grand is not enough. But I was just trying to figure out, how can I get it? How can I get to be a millionaire, right? Like, how can you do something where everybody you know has never done it, right? Like, I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have somebody I could call and say, hey, what did you do to make your first million? So I just started grinding. And then God, one day, he sent me this message, and the message was, stop worrying about money and worry about your purpose, right? But he didn't send it like that. He sent it in the form of pain, right? Sometimes the best teaching moments are painful. And I got out of prison on April 30th of 2018 after my 14 months. And on February 26th of 2020, my brother got shot and killed. And when my brother got shot and killed, it was one of the hardest times for me. And the reason I say that is because obviously everybody here has known somebody, everybody here has lost somebody. Like, that's a part of life. But like when you lose somebody before their time is coming, how can you cope with that? Right? Like when you had plans with somebody for 5 and 10 years into the future, and then in the blink of an eye, they're not here no more, what are you supposed to do now? Right? Like when you lose somebody that you're talking to, like you can't even delete their number out your phone. Like it's a certain pain that you have to learn how to live with. But from that pain, I promise you, your purpose can be born. Right? Because I made a conscious decision that I don't want anybody who's younger than me to go through what I went through. So I started coming to school and started speaking. Right? I started a nonprofit called the Advantage Program so I can show these young boys in the city that, yo, there's a lot more to life than this thing we call York. Because the last thing I want to do is die on the block I grew up on. Right? But it's like, again, it's all a mindset. It's all a paradigm. It's all how you view things and all how you do things.